Good morning. My name is Ted Clouser, host of Win the Minute, Win the Day, the show that focuses on bringing hope to the chaos. A father's proudest moment is watching his son succeed. Today, I have the privilege of interviewing Ethan Clouser. Just a few months shy of his 18th birthday, I've had the honor to watch him spend his whole life searching for his purpose. Earlier this year, he found it, and it might not be what you think. Having grown up in Arkansas, he understood well what it meant to be in the Bible Belt. But what he didn't have the chance to experience was his own deep personal encounter with the Holy Spirit. All of that changed this summer. Since then, he has moved to a boarding school in Pennsylvania, began preaching weekly on his campus, and leverages social media to expand his reach. I'm blessed to have the chance to share his story with you today. Welcome to the show, Ethan. It's an honor to have you.
Yeah, it's great. I appreciate you having me on. That bio did a great job at expressing a lot about who I am. And so I look forward to sharing with everybody more about me today. So.
Excellent. Well, let's just jump right in. What is your approach to personally waking up with a go win the day attitude?
Yeah. So I think my answer to that might be a little unorthodox, but I'll share it anyway. For me, without giving you a whole rundown synopsis on my whole life, I was someone who struggled a lot with winning the day. I for months, experienced a lot of situations in my life where I was almost losing a lot of my days, and I had to pull myself out of it. And so the way that I was able to do that was through this process of rerouting my mindset. And today I just want to give a little bit of a illustration in order to help you guys understand like what I'm talking about, the way that I pulled myself out of a losing the day mindset into a winning the day mindset. And so just for a quick visual, this right here would be a representation of how our lives go. This is a human life. And this little portion right here is our earth, or our life on earth. And so what I did, and the reason that I was in such this lose the day mindset is because I was taking this tiny point right here and focusing everything on this tiny details. When in reality, I think what a lot of people struggle with is realizing that this, in comparison, is nothing compared to the eternity that we will spend from a biblical standpoint. And so what I had to do was just completely reroute my understanding and thinking of the way that I approached life. And so that was the transformation that I had to go through, understanding that, instead of worrying about, if I don't get this opportunity here, if this person gets mad at me here, like the only thing that matters here that's going to affect all of this is, am I impacting souls? Am I impacting the world in order to lead people to Christ? And so once I got rid of all of the monetary stuff and things that'll pass away, then that's when I really got to experience like waking up and being able to win the day.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about that later here in the show. But for now, I want to focus on your senior year of high school, which you're currently in. So you chose to go to a basketball prep school. What led you to that decision, and what advice would you give to someone considering the same thing?
Yeah. I think the decision for me to go to the prep school in Pennsylvania that I went to was kind of a specific thing. I'm not sure if I would necessarily recommend it to everyone. It's a little difficult, but the reason that I know I went is because I felt a strong call in my life to go there. I know that this is where God needed me to be, or wanted me to be, so that I could be efficiently producing for his kingdom. And so, yeah, I've learned a lot there. I'm so glad I went. But for anybody that's considering it, my advice would just be pray about it. I mean, it's a great opportunity if that's where you're supposed to be. But if you're thinking about it, just pray about it would be my advice. And if you feel resistance, then just understand that it's a little bit of a challenge.
Well, what's a memorable story that you can share about when you had to personally live out winning the day?
So I would say probably one of my toughest situations in my life was being a basketball player and all. I had to battle through numerous injuries, and one of my worst injuries that was progressively it took over a lot of my mentality was I had chronic tendonitis in my whole left arm for it was about over a year. And that really took a toll on me just because I was so frustrated with what was going on. Um, and I think it was extremely important for me to make sure that I was approaching this with the go win the day mindset. And the way that I did that, one of my, I want to call it a life verse, but James 1, 2 through 4, which says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance." And then it says, "Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." And for me, that was a complete game changer because it was like I understood that I was going through all the tendonitis thing and just injuries throughout my whole body, and I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't understand how I could get through this winning the day. And that verse really was just kind of the light switch for me. I understood that I was going through these things that, in the temporary were there, but in the grand scheme of things, how is this going to affect my eternity? How was I going to use this to reach souls? And once I realized that, I was able to experience the joy that would help me get out of bed and want to go get better and want to go make an impact. And so that was kind of just a big experience for me.
Well, I appreciate your vulnerability. And I want to go off script for just a second because you've said something that really caused me to think. So we're on LinkedIn. It's a business network. You have some entrepreneurial experience. You've been a little bit in the business world. Inside of this network, it's very possible that you could have Christ followers and non-Christ followers listen. So share a little bit about what you think is a takeaway from the business world and why faith should be intertwined.
Yeah. So you use this a lot. It's one of your things that technology is your platform, right? And that's kind of how it is with any business. Every single person, whether you are in charge of a business, whether your owner, your employee, your whatever, you have an opportunity and a platform to be able to use what God has given you, the gifts and talents that you have to make a difference. And whether you're a Christian or not, whatever your beliefs are, you still have an ability to impact lives with the position that you're in, and you're not in that position by accident.
Great answer. Well, you've been giving sermons as part of your faith journey. What has that experience been like, and what's a story you can share about a positive impact you've witnessed?
Yeah. So if you haven't picked it up already from our talk, I heavily have been called to pursue ministry in my life. And so, yes, I had an opportunity to be at this church where every Monday night we have services, and I have an opportunity to preach at them. And that has been great for me because it helps build a lot of characteristics that I'm going to need going forward. Just how to, outwardly speak, how to teach, and how to lead and walk it out. And so, to give an example, to give a story about an experience that I had there. I had a friend, and I won't specifically mention his name because I don't have his permission, but I had a buddy, and he was in my dorm. We were living together for about a month, and he didn't necessarily come there knowing about God or being able to have a relationship with Him. And so I came into that place being able to be a light to not only him, but to a lot of the people there. And so throughout the whole process of our Monday night services, he was able to come to those, and he lived with me, so he got to see my light being able to shine and see the difference between someone who has a professing faith. And all those things compiling together, eventually he decided that he was going to transfer out to another school in Arizona. And so when he was leaving, everybody was saying their goodbyes, and he hugged everyone and all that, but I helped bring us back to the Uber as he was leaving, and it was just him and I. And when he looked at me, he just started breaking down. He was just bawling, and he started telling me, he said, "Ethan, I just want you to know that I'm so thankful for you because you helped bring me to God." He said, "You helped me with my relationship with God. No one has ever pushed me to love God, to know about these things." And he said, "I'm so thankful for what you're doing." And he said, "I know that you want to impact lives." And he said, "I want you to know this. in case you never change another person's life, just know that you changed mine. And that was just everything for me. Not only did I feel like it was an affirmation that I was in the right place, that I needed to continue doing what I was doing and being a light, but also, if anybody knows what it's like to be in ministry, or any pastors or any missionaries, you understand that it's very rare that you get to see the fruit of your labors immediately. And so I had only been doing this for about a month, and here I am getting this affirmation from this guy about how I helped lead him to God, and I helped push him towards his relationship. And so getting to see like the fruits from that so early was just amazing for me.
Good for you. I'm not able to see the feed, so I don't know if we have any comments or questions.
We do. Alexis says, we're so proud of you for taking that huge leap of faith.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank
Alexis.
you, Alexis.
That's fantastic. Well, obviously, as a father, I'm beaming with pride. It's something that we as dads look forward to as we watch our children grow and succeed. So, I just got to ask you, Ethan, obviously you've got a lot of things going on in your life right now, but after you've gone through a day, you've either won it or lost it. Hopefully you've won it. How do you personally unwind?
Yeah. So I watch your interviews, and I think that everybody, for the most part, seems to have this way that they unwind. And I start to think like maybe I should have one of those. So I don't have like a specific way that I unwind each day, but what I do have, and this was a complete game changer for me, was the Sabbath. I was such a hard worker when it came to basketball. Really, whatever I wanted to be great at, I knew I had to. And so I would grind, just put all this work and effort in without rest. And what it did was just completely deteriorate my body. And it's just my body and my mental state and my emotional state. And eventually I just got tired of it. And I started implementing the Sabbath, which I don't think it's a coincidence that it's so heavily stressed in the Bible. I mean, you see it when God created the world. You see he took a day of rest. You see it all throughout the Old Testament, the New Testament. It's something that's important and in there for a reason. And so once I started to take a day of rest, it was like I was renewed. I could go 6 days, hard, and then take that seventh day, and it was just, I was renewed for the week. And so I would encourage anybody, really, if you're going, to take a day of rest. And it doesn't matter what day. Just have a day where you are able to refresh. I think it's extremely needed. I was even the person too that I didn't want to rest because I thought that if I took a day off, I'd get behind or I'd lose some progression. But that's not the truth. When you take that rest, you are allowed to be extremely more efficient through those 6 days than you would ever be in the 7. Mm-hmm. So
that's great, and it's very much like vacation for those of us that are at a place of business. And certainly as we come up on the holiday season, just remember to be where your feet are and take time to celebrate your family and do that rest, just like Ethan shared. Ethan, thank you for your willingness to come on the show, to share your vulnerabilities and your stories with us. And on that note, go win the day, every day.